When I reflect upon my lifetime, the first 18 years of my life were extremely important. I grew up in a very small town in Oklahoma, a town of 1,200 people. I graduated with classmates that numbered 28, or about 100 in our high school. My mother and father were blue-collar workers. My father was a mechanic in a local garage, and my mother became a cook in the school lunchroom. I delivered newspapers. I had work in the summertime. I mowed yards when I was very young, and then I worked in the harvest fields after I became 12, 13 years of age. Just a wonderful upbringing by two wonderful parents and surrounded by a wonderful sister and a wonderful brother. My brother went off to military school, West Point, and spent the majority his entire professional lifetime in the military and rose to the rank of a 4-star general and retired as Chief of Staff of the Army. My sister, a little bit younger than myself, got her education at a nursing school, a Catholic nursing school, went up to Laos during the Vietnam War, cared for Laotian children in a Catholic-sponsored mission, came back to the United States, converted to Catholicism, and spent her lifetime as a Catholic nun. I was probably blessed also in the small town of Medford. We had a wonderful principal that also taught the math and science courses. And he was adamant that I should try to be the best and try to be the top achiever in my class. And I took that challenge on, and I did very well in the math part of my education. I went to Oklahoma State University. Did very well in especially my first year of college, because I really applied myself. The next 3 years, not quite as good, but I did always make the Dean's Honor Roll and graduated with good honors and graduated with an opportunity to go to work with Exxon. I got involved with a friend of mine, Ken Peak, who's a dear friend, who had started a small company, Contango, E&P company here in the United States. And he also had a friend that had started a energy company, Sharif Suki, and through Ken, I became a member of the board of Cheniere. Sharif had a vision about the U.S. gas market that proved to be correct for a period of time, and he asked me to join the company. Shortly thereafter, I asked Hugh Banky and Volker Reimer to come to work with Cheniere because I needed their expertise. Hugh, I think the world of, and is a great commercial guy, knew transportation very well. Likewise with Volker, I thought he was a premier technician and knew and understood the LNG business better than most. And I thought with a couple other additions, we could put together a regasification plant. Unfortunately, we couldn't raise any money, even on the U.S. Stock Exchange, just could not find anybody who wanted to fund that. Thank God for Michael Smith, because Michael came in with at least a checkbook in the summer of 2002 and wanted at that time to invest in one of our regasification ideas. And at the end of 2002 told Sharif, I'm going to go forward with this project. I want Reimer to work for me as my president of the company. And he can kind of ask a couple other people to come to work with Freeport, and that's the way we got to start with Freeport LNG. You know, the LNG business has changed dramatically in the United States in the last decade or so. Just as we were in the middle of construction, a shale gas revolution was going on in the United States. I mean, we are so blessed to have come out of a natural gas business where we thought a regasification terminal was going to be an outstanding achievement, and for the U.S. gas scene to change so dramatic and allow us to build not a $1 billion facility like our regasification terminal turned out to be, but now a $15 billion complex where we're going to be a premier company that's exporting LNG into the Asia Pacific. And I think as we look back at the tenure of the company and the people that we've hired in the company, I think we've put together really a first-class organization. Since I have retired from Freeport LNG, I've stayed busy with the Freeport project. Michael has asked me to serve on a construction advisory committee, so I find myself traveling from the wonderful city of Laguna Beach to Houston, Texas once a month. It's kind of on the foothills of California overlooking the Pacific, so I have a nice view of the Pacific on almost every day because there's usually not a cloud in the sky in Southern California. I'm out there about 180 days out of the year and either traveling to Houston on business or spending time with my family. I have a son that's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and two grandchildren. My daughter's in New Orleans and still active in the hotel business. And so I try to spend as much time when I'm back in Houston trying to visiting with family in those two locations. Life after having worked 45 years in the business in retirement, still full enough for me, enjoying all the aspects of life that I think I probably deserve after having spent the time that I did working in the energy sector.